about cannabis and CBD here in Vienna? Yes or no? There's some cannabis. There's some controversy. You know what? You know what that spells for everybody sitting in this room? Opportunity. You know, it doesn't spell fear at all. I remember we planned this event for Vienna, and I remember Alex came out and told me, you know, there's been some things in the news about CBD in Austria. And I said, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to back down? Are we going to come to Vienna, and are we going to educate the people and show how silly this entire controversy really is? Isn't that the truth? Yeah! For sure. You know, that's why I'm proud to be part of a company, a family of companies that is associated with Medical Marijuana Inc. You know, Medical Marijuana Inc. is a company of firsts, and Canaway is a subsidiary of Medical Marijuana Inc. Medical Marijuana Inc. was the first company ever that was a publicly held cannabis company. That started way back in 2009. And along the way, we pride ourselves on being a company of firsts. So I want to tell you a little bit about some of the firsts that this company's been involved in, and that all of you are now involved in because you're a part of Canaway. They're really things that you can be very, very proud of. So, in 2011, this company was the first company ever to establish a global CBD pipeline. Let me tell you what that means. You know, back in those days, people didn't have the equipment to harvest the hemp. They didn't know what to do. There was no extraction methodology for getting the CBD from the product. This company developed it all. You know, in a few minutes, you're going to hear from the CEO of our company, Dr. Stuart Titus. And Dr. Stuart Titus is the person who was here in Europe developing these processes with the farmers to be able to commercialize the world's first ever CBD product, which is quite remarkable, isn't it? You know, now, today, at least in the United States, I don't know how it is here in Europe, you can go to, you know, stores all over the place and find CBD. This company launched the world's first ever CBD product. We've led the pathway. We made the pathway so that everybody could follow in our steps. We really, truly created an industry. Now, in 2012, this company was the very first company to launch a CBD-based product in the United States. The very first. You're going to hear from Dr. Titus in a few minutes. That product was actually launched under one of our subsidiary companies called Dixie. Dixie had the world's first ever CBD-based products, and that was in 2012. So, 7 years ago, this family of companies launched the world's very first cannabidiol-based product. Again, one of the first that we're associated with. Along the way, we found out that people started copying us, and they started to develop their own CBD products. You know, and I've been to Colorado a few times. Colorado is one of the states in the 50 United States that has legalized cannabis, okay? So I went to Colorado to see what was actually happening, and it was frightening. You know, I would go and I would look at people's facilities, and I would look at their grow operations, and people were extracting CBD in their garages, okay? It was dangerous. And so what did we do? We decided that we were gonna triple lab test certify every single product that we sell. And so you can be confident when your products arrive at your home that they've been through a triple lab certification process, and that there's no contaminations in your product, and that you're getting what we promised in the product. So, we first test the product during the growing season, and again after the harvest, to establish the best cannabinoid content possible, with no chemicals, no heavy metals, no other contaminants. After everything is extracted, each batch is sent to a third-party testing lab to test for all kinds of things like mold, E. coli, and all kinds of things like that. And then finally, once the products are manufactured at our manufacturing facility, we test one more time to make sure the THC content isn't too high, to make sure that the CBD content is what we say it is, and to make sure that you're getting a safe product to your home. I'm going to talk a little bit more about our testing procedures and about the quality of our products in a few minutes, but I want to get back to some of the company's firsts. And some of these firsts are coming to Europe very, very soon, which we're very excited about. So, way back in 2013, our company was the first company to patent the use of chewing gum to deliver cannabinoids. Why is that important? You know, when you take something into your body in a capsule or an oil format, the oil goes through your liver and then it's delivered through the rest of your bloodstream, and you lose some of the product. With the chewing gum, it goes through your mucosal system and it avoids the liver, and so you're getting a higher uptake of CBD. And so we've partnered with one of our sister companies called Axum Biotechnologies, and Canaway will be launching our new CBD-based chewing gum here in Europe in the next couple of months. We're pretty excited about that. If you see other cannabis-based chewing gums on the market, you'll know that they're violating our patent. You see, Axum, our partner, has a patent for the delivery of all cannabinoids through chewing gum so that it can enter into your mucosal system. So we're really excited to deliver this product. When Alex is back on stage, he'll give you the timing of when we're going to be launching this product. We're launching it in the United States at our upcoming convention, Believe. That's in April. So I'm guessing around the April timeframe, we're going to launch a new product into this business as well, which will be the CBD-based chewing gum. Get your hands on that. It's microencapsulated. It's a little bit different. It's the company's first ever micro-encapsulated CBD-based product, and it's coming to your doorsteps. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit, so I'll skip over this slide. You know, it's funny. If you look at the history of cannabis, our government, the United States government, for the last 100 years has been telling the general public that all cannabis is bad, right? They've just now started changing that message. But it's interesting. While the government was busy scheduling cannabis and telling everybody that it was so bad for you, they were also researching it, okay? And the government, the National Institute of Health, actually came out with a patent in 2013. It's the famous cannabis patent. It's entitled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants. One of our companies has licensed this patent for the treatment of two different conditions, okay? One of them is called, can I go to the next slide here, Will? Sorry, there we go. One of them is called CTE. CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy is actually the early onset of Alzheimer's disease. It happens to American football players because they take too many hits to the head, right? Research is showing that it's also happening to some of the soccer players from all the headers that they do with the football, right? And it's the saddest thing ever, Alzheimer's disease. One of the things that traditional medicine has been unable to conquer and to find a solution for. We think that cannabis-based therapies might have an answer. So our company, CannaLife, one of our subsidiaries, is developing products to be able to treat these conditions, very early stage. But we're really, really excited. And we're excited that our company licensed the famous U.S. government patent for cannabis entitled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants. And it's interesting how things are changing, you know? It's like I told you before we started talking about the patent. In the United States, for the last 100 years, they've been telling us that all cannabis was bad and it was drugs and all this stuff. Just recently in the United States, we passed what's called the Farm Bill. And in the Farm Bill, they completely legalized 100% all hemp-based products that have less than 0.03% THC. Now, absolutely, big deal, big deal. Here in Europe, I am sure that we're going to follow suit, and I am sure that this company, Medical Marijuana Inc., and this company, Canaway, is going to be leading the way in helping government officials and the general public understand that we all have endocannabinoid systems. We all have cannabinoid receptors in our body. We were all designed to be taking cannabis-based products that are not psychoactive. Isn't that right? People just don't understand. You know, there's a revolution on the one hand to legalize all of cannabis, and that's called recreational use. That's not what this company is about. There's a revolution that we are all fighting here together, and that is to educate the world, to help everybody understand that not all cannabis is bad. In fact, there are some parts that are very, very beneficial, and it just happens to be the non-psychoactive parts that we sell in our company. That's where your opportunity lies. Your opportunity is to go out and talk to the world. You see, there's never been a direct selling company like this one in the history of direct selling. You know why?
Yay.
Let me tell you why. You know, if you're selling, I know lots of multi-level marketing companies that sell water, right? Let me ask you something. Is there anything interesting about water? We have to drink it every day, but you know, do you really want to talk about it with your friends? Not really. I know a lot of direct selling companies that sell juice. Do you really want to talk about juice to your friends? I don't. I want to drink my orange juice, but I don't want to try and sell it, right? I know a lot of companies that sell, I don't know, all kinds of stuff that's really good for you, but nobody wants to talk about it. Let me ask you something. Does everybody in this room want to talk about cannabis?
Yay!
Do the people outside this room want to talk about cannabis?
Yes.
Do people have strong opinions about cannabis?
Yes.
Everybody wants to talk about it, right? That's where your opportunity lies. That's where you can start educating your friends and your family and your business associates about the difference between industrial hemp and marijuana, the difference between psychoactive and non-psychoactive, and people rush to you because they want to hear about it, as opposed to most multi-level opportunities where everybody's trying to figure out where the closest exit is so they can leave the room. Isn't that the truth? It's totally the truth. So take advantage of the confusion. Be a part of the solution. All right. You know what? I love this company because we push up against the boundaries. What we're doing here today in Austria, this company has already done many, many times. So I have to tell you this story. We have a company in Brazil. And I remember when we first started sending our products down to Brazil, we had a mother, okay? Her name was Caccielli. I have a picture of her here. That's Caccielli right there, and that's her husband. Great, great people. And that's their daughter, Annie. And Annie had a really, really rare form of epilepsy. And the only thing that helped Annie to live a normal life was to take our products. And so she started importing our products from the United States to Brazil. You know what the government did? The government turned around and they called this woman a smuggler. Isn't that funny? I mean, a drug smuggler? Are you kidding me? So here's what happened. She decided she wasn't going to put up with that. She decided enough was enough. She decided that what her daughter experienced was more important than what any government official said to her. She and her husband went out with the help of our company and made a full-length feature film called Illegal. And she told the world in Brazil about how the government had called her a smuggler. And masses of people started going and seeing this movie. It was in the cinemas. And they completely changed the world. And there was so much pressure on the government that they decided to say, you know what, Mrs. Fisher, you're right. And you know what? There's nothing else that will provide your daughter with the relief that she gets by taking your products. And they changed the law. And absolutely. And now we have thousands of families in Brazil. It's a little bit different in Brazil. We're lucky. We're lucky here in Europe. And we're lucky in the United States that our products can be sold and marketed as foods, okay? In South America and in Brazil specifically, it's a medicine, okay? And so they have to have a doctor's permit, a doctor's prescription in order to be able to get the products down in Brazil. But thank God, now we have thousands of families who otherwise couldn't have access to CBD, who have legal access. You want to know the funniest thing about the whole story? Guess who our biggest client is in Brazil? It's the government. Because they have a public health care system, they're the ones purchasing all the CBD from our company to be able to give to all the patients. Really remarkable. It's funny how things come full circle, isn't it? Pretty crazy. So today, we're lucky because you're actually going to hear from an amazing woman. Her name is Penny Howard. And Penny actually introduced the Fishers to CBD. So she did her small part, or her big part, in changing the world. You know, I heard Alex today talking about changing the world. I know, and a lot of times when we talk about direct selling, we talk about changing the world, right? And what it boils down to most of the time in the end is who makes a little bit of money. Let me tell you what, that's not the case in this company. You can change the world. You have the power to change the world. You can go educate people about CBD, about their bodies. We are really literally changing the world. We're changing the laws every single place that we go. We're making a massive difference in people's lives, and we're also providing an opportunity. So, this company actually in 2015, to my knowledge, launched the world's first ever legally registered nutritional supplement-based CBD product. Did you know that our company, Canaway, actually has, in a European Union member state, a dietary supplement notification done and completed? We have all the paperwork to show that it's 100% legal. So all this nonsense that you're hearing, you know, for me it's just nonsense, and it's the news trying to confuse people. They just don't understand. We need to get out there and be the source for all of the education. We have all the legal opinions we need. We need everybody in this room to get 100% confident in this company, and then go out and be the ambassadors to really educate the public in every single European Union country and bring this to the forefront. In Mexico, our company was again the first. Let me tell you another funny story. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the dynamic between the United States and Mexico. But, you know, for years and years and years, decades, the entry point for all the illegal drugs in the world to come through the United States was through Mexico, right? So it's really funny. Our company was getting ready to go to Mexico, and Raul is here somewhere. I don't know where Raul is right now, but you're going to hear from Raul later today. Raul is the person who legalized our products in Mexico. And they said, well, you know what? We'll take your products so long as they have 0% THC. I mean, isn't that funny? How much THC is coming from Mexico up to the United States? It's just unbelievable, really. But anyway, we said, okay. So we formulated a version of our products that had 0% THC, just like we sell here in Europe. And we sent them down to Mexico. Now in Mexico, it's also the same. You have to have a doctor's prescription and able to get all of the products down in Mexico. But now, we have thousands of families in Mexico, through the help of Raul, that are able to have access to CBD products every single day. And you're going to hear from Raul later this afternoon. I mean, he himself has changed his family's life. He has a very impactful story. And he's also changed an entire country, okay? He's out changing the world. This is Raul here. I can't wait for you to hear from Raul later today. When you do, when Raul comes up here, I mean, I just want everybody to give him such a massive round of applause. He has done, I think, more than maybe anybody in the room in terms of really impacting the world and really making this movement a massive, massive one. Not only for our company, but for himself and for his family. We're leading the way. So actually in Paraguay, this was another first for our company. The same products that this company sells are actually registered drugs in the country of Paraguay. So like I said, we're lucky here in the United States and in Europe. We can sell our products legally as foods and dietary supplements. But in some countries, you know, where the government hasn't quite evolved as far along yet, there's still drugs, and we're, you know, every little bit helps. Next thing you know it, they're going to be nutritional supplements in Latin America too, but for now, they're drugs. Here you can see this is Raoul again, and this happened just last year, maybe a year and a half ago now. Raoul was actually in Switzerland, right next door, addressing the United Nations about the safety and efficacy of CBD-based products. So, I want you just to take a step back for just a minute and really think about what you're involved in here. Are you involved in just another direct selling company? I don't know of any single direct selling company ever in the history of man that has gone to the United Nations to talk about the safety and efficacy of its products, and the United Nations wanted to hear about it. Isn't that true? This is so much bigger. And of course, we're leading Europe. This is the first ever, Canaway, I think I missed a slide somewhere. Of course, Canaway was the first ever direct selling cannabis-based business in the history of man, something that we're very, very excited about. And of course, we're the first company also in Europe, the first ever direct selling based opportunity ever, and I hope the only one ever, but I'm guessing that there's going to be some following in our footsteps, right? That's why we have to protect our legacy. That's why we have to show people who was first, all the work that we've done leading up to this point. We've got a few exciting announcements. Starting in March of 2019, there's a new group that's formed in our industry. It's called the U.S. Hemp Authority. All of the best companies will have its products certified by the U.S. Hemp Authority. This is happening in March of 2019. Our European products will also come with this stamp on it, so we're very excited about that coming very, very soon. This is what the products will look like. We're also very excited because, again, another first for our company. Recently, the Physician's Desk Reference company has listed our CBD products in their manual. Now, this is a very big deal. No CBD and no cannabis-based product has ever been written about before in the PDR. This PDR in the United States is the book that the physicians turn to when they want answers to questions about certain ingredients. Now, our company, Canaway, and our product that we sell here in Europe called Pure Gold is talked about in the Physician's Desk Reference. So I invite you all to go check it out and use it. So, go check that out. We're excited about our Hemp Authority seal, and we're excited about the Physician's Desk Reference. Here we are. We were the first direct selling company in all of cannabis, and of course, we were the first to come to Europe. We have a long way to go in Europe still, and we've got decades in front of us about educating people about CBD, about the endocannabinoid system, about what's the difference between marijuana and hemp. It's the most exciting space to be in. Here's this. I would tell you, beware of the imitators, okay? A few months ago in the United States, the FDA, our Food and Drug Association, actually took CBD products off the shelves and tested them. Only 2 of the 24 products they tested had what was actually written on the label. Canaway's products were one of them, okay? Be careful about who you are buying your cannabis-based products from. The cannabis industry is still a little bit like the wild, wild west, okay? You have to be in business with a company that can be trusted, who is going to make sure to do everything correctly. Canaway was the first direct selling company. I promise you we're going to be standing here to be the last as well, and I promise you we will be the professional company in this unprofessional space. 34 of the 38 products actually contained very little CBD at all. This is just a marketing frenzy, right? People want to be in the cannabis business. Make sure you're buying from a reputable company like ours. We are on the news, we're all over the news, and we're about to be all over the news in Austria. Okay, we've got a PR team back here with us today. We brought all of our media people here with us today because we want to change the perception in this country. We want to be the company that's going to come here and change the way that the government is viewing CBD, is viewing cannabis, and make a real difference in the world. And why do we want to do that? For us, it all goes back to those stories that I was telling you about. You know, I told you about the fishers in Brazil, and I told you what a massive impact our products have had on their lives. I told you about Raul down in Mexico, and about the massive difference he's made in the world. You know, as you watch this little video clip, you're gonna see the amazing difference that we're having on people's lives. And really, coming back to it all, yes, we want to educate the public. Yes, we want to create opportunity. Yes, we want to be the first. Yes, we want to change the world. This company impacts people's lives in ways that others don't. Check this out.